Ross Arrowsmith, what's coming up this week?
A random episode of a random Gerry Anderson series.
Chris Dale.
We've got archive interviews with Space 1999 guest stars.
And we'll be hearing from our wonderful Podsterons. What's not to like?
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James and Chris Dale.
If you're ready, willing, happy and able,
If we're sitting comfortably.
I think it's about time we started pod 363 of the Gerry Anderson Podcast.
Already?
Yes, we'll be here for the next hour and a quarter or so, celebrating all things Gerry Anderson, and even, to cap it all, watching an episode from a Gerry Anderson series.
Do we know which one?
Well, we don't, because it's part of the Randomiser, you see, so it'll be random.
Oh.
Chosen at random from one of Gerry's series. What are you hoping for, Ross?
I don't know, we've had a lot of Super Mario Nation and older stuff, and I think it'd be nice to get something just a little bit more up to date.
Wow. Okay.
I've noticed in the last few weeks that Ross is being a bit, it's been a bit sort of clairvoyant when it comes to
so
randomiser choices.
Maybe we should look forward to a bit of Lavender Castle.
I
or
suspect
new
I should
Scarlet.
have put money on that. So,
Okay,
yes,
fair enough.
We shall find out.
Yeah. Talking of putting money on things,
Yes.
I would put a great deal of money on the fact that our Podsterons have been commenting beneath our YouTube videos.
It's a safe bet. Yes, they normally do. Well done.
So, for example, beneath one of our recent ones, Pod 359, which was a recap of the Corgi reveals as part of our Gerry Anderson Day, if you remember, live stream with David Mather. We also watched a classic episode of the Secret Service. Button Moon says, for the last Gerry Anderson Day in 2024, I visited the church from that episode of, or rather from the series, The Secret Service, featured in the show, and it was a really lovely location. Unfortunately, says Button Moon, Father Unwin wasn't present, but I left a donation before leaving. I was also right next to the spot where that infamous shot of Lady Martha was filmed.
Whatever do you mean? Infamous shot? I can't think of any.
Podsterons, you'll just have to watch Pod 359 to find out what she's talking about. It's the same spot as Hawthorne Lane car park at Burnham Beach's Nature Reserve. It was a car garage named The Barn, and right next door was Lido, known as Burnham Beach's outdoor pool. Sadly, that closed in 1983 after a fire, and the whole place is now redeveloped, including the garage, but it was great to find. I believe I also drove around the same roads that were seen in some episodes too. Yes, I suspect a lot of filming went on in Burnham Beaches.
Yes.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that the swimming pool caught fire.
Yes. Yes.
That's straight out of
Unfortunate.
a Thunderbirds episode.
Yes.
What
Pool of fire.
Yes. And one there for you, I think, Chris.
Yes, this is from Lewis Hutch saying, hi, Jamie, Richard and Chris.
Hello.
And Ross.
Hi.
Ross, yes. Remember several dozen podcasts ago, you asked about that bridge blowing up in the opening titles of The Protectors.
Right.
Well, I can tell you that it's actually from the 1957 film Campbell's Kingdom, starring Dirk Bogarde. I've got your book, Chris.
Oh.
Thank you. Not this one.
No.
Secrets of the Secret Service.
I see.
I think it's very well written.
Fair enough.
Illustrated, and has several facts that I never knew about. Great work.
Ah.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Yes,
Lewis,
nice.
for that. Yes. That mention of Campbell's Kingdom there, I think within the last year or so, I sent you a clip from that film for inclusion in the podcast. I don't remember it being included in the podcast.
What was that all about then? I think that was
we
maybe
were,
when we had that
we
discussion.
were asking about the bridge,
see.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
sent
there
you
you
the
go.
clip.
Yes.
Right.
I don't remember
Right.
if it ever went in.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
don't know.
remember
We
did
don't know
last
what we
week.
said. What we're talking about. No.
Exactly. And finally, one there for you, Ross.
Priscilla Brown. The Corgi and Scalextric models / toys ride the line between shelf model and something that you would find in a toy box. They are both
Yes.
designed to be models and toys depending on who buys them. How long did it take David to find the other Thunderbird 4 missile?
Yes.
Well, he left while we were still running.
That's
When he
right.
left, he really did leave. He had a train to catch.
Yeah,
So, we found it. It was just sort of here after the show. It was
Yes.
sat in all the other bric-a-brac.
Yeah.
All those wonderful Thunderbirds models.
You mean carefully placed ephemera?
all those Thunderbirds models that I broke? Yes. Yes.
That's right, yeah. It's true, the whole toy model debate was an interesting one, wasn't it?
Yes,
Some people were
yes.
saying, they're not toys!
It's still going on in the comments. I believe,
right.
yes,
But
yes.
hey, if you play with something, isn't it a toy?
I think it's personal to you.
Yeah.
What is it for you?
Yeah. Oh, a toy for me, absolutely. Yes. I'm not one for keeping something on a shelf or on a box.
No,
in
I
a box.
agree. Yeah, it's
I
nice
wanna play with it.
to pick it up and
Yeah.
throw it around.
Unless it has resale value, in which case to eBay it goes.
Fair enough. In the meantime, tell us about your experiences in the past.
In the future past
Yes.
of Space 1999,
That's right, exactly.
which is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Last year there was a convention at Heathrow in September, and lots of lovely people were in attendance,
Yep.
including ourselves.
Yes,
Very
that's
lovely
right.
people.
I had a great time.
And Ross and I, with the kind help of many of the convention organisers, thank you, Terry, and thank you, Warren, and thank you, anyone else I'm forgetting who deserves a thank you.
Yeah.
You were looking at Ross as if I owe him a thank you.
Yeah, we all owe Ross a debt of gratitude.
Yes. We were grabbing various people to ask them if they would sit down and do interviews.
And did they?
They did.
Hooray.
Yes. So this week we have a Series 2 guest star in the shape of Peter Duncan.
Great.
Who was Cantor in The Exiles.
Yeah.
Who was not a guest at the convention. He just turned up because he wanted to be there.
No.
Yeah, he briefly stopped by on the Saturday morning.
Brilliant.
Yes. Someone gave him a toy stun gun and he was playing with that for the rest of the day.
Great.
And we also have a interview with a guest actor from the first season.
Nice.
An episode, it's not many people's favourite, it's called Dragon's Domain. No one cares about
no one talks about that at all.
The main guest character in that,
Right,
Tony
yeah.
Cellini, was
Okay.
played by an Italian actor.
Yeah.
And very nice man named
Good.
Gianni Garko.
Brilliant.
So we're going to talk to Gianni Garko and Peter Duncan right now, but in the past.
I'll put it on, hang on. Kill. Oh, shush, turn it off. Well, it's 1975, I think I did it, and I've been an actor for about 4 or 5, 6 years. No, 6 years, really. And I think it just turned up because I'd done a few movies, and I think that gets you into interviews and auditions. And I turned up and did it over, I think, a period of a couple of weeks. I do remember one moment when I think I was kind of doing a second audition, though they didn't realise it because I came in and saw the boss. I thought I was coming for a costume fitting, but I had to do all the lines again. I thought, I know what's going on. He's not sure. Anyway, I still did it. So.
When Madam Sylvia Anderson met me in Rome, and I have had a kind of speech and a conversation with her. And I told her, you know, my English is not good. I don't know if I will be able to play in a character in English. Like, oh, no. Your English with this accent and is okay.
It had quite an impact because it was obviously after all the puppet shows. It was like the second big show that they did with real people. So it was clearly, being here all these years later with all the background of it was well funded. It was proper movie making. So it was exciting to do.
Even the author of this, the writer of I have seen in TV interview, he say that Dragon's Domain is the best. And the character of Tony Cellini is the character that he prefer, And for me, I told you that give me a satisfaction, because for an actor, this is a kind of applause. To meet person that have seen this episode 5 years ago or 3 months ago and still are moved and touched from this episode is a very, very good thing for me.
Well, it was before the days of Lycra, so my costume was a bit, I would argue, as colourful as it was a bit suspect. And I think my motif, which looked like a crushed fetus, looked a little bit strange. But then I had been in a pod for, I don't know, maybe a billion years, I don't know. And then it was great. I remember Martin and being very kind, because I think they're always kind to the so-called guest stars. I think they wanted to relax them all, and like if you've been on film sets, it's a big affair. Lots of people knocking about doing different jobs, and the chippies and the lighting guys. It was always a bigger operation than sometimes it seems now.
Yeah, Barbara Ben, the wife of Martin Landau, both these two persons was nice, very educated, cultivated people, and without this, how can I say, the atteggiamento, without to show that they was a very popular actor, and I was, I remember only one thing that surprised me when they told me that they come on the set in Pinewood. They lived outside London with a Rolls Royce car. Because generally a car of the production of the company keep an actor, how do you say, keep actor go to the on the set with car of the production of the company, but they had a Rolls Royce. So I was a little bit, oh my God.
I remember Barbara had a toothache at the time, so she could only be shot from one side. She couldn't be shot on that side because she had a bit of a swelling, which was interesting. So, not that I've watched it, to be honest, I haven't watched it for years, but I do remember that everything was in that slight profile, that series. I think she got better, but it was just a bad toothache. Well, Catherine, who's obviously here now at this convention, yes, I remember her. I remember particularly, as I bumped into her yesterday before we came in, the opening was the animal thing. And I remember on set that to scare me off, I presume, I can't quite remember, she turned into a tiger. And of course, you can have a live tiger on the set. That's pretty much a closed set and a cage that you bring in and you lead the tiger through. And I can't quite remember whether I had to be in shot with the tiger or whether it was faked in some ways.
When there are a fighting between two men, two characters, is easy to do. I used to fight box in the Western film by myself without a standman that with my dress. I was personally doing this box and so on, and but to fight with an odd object, an object that that under the object there are a man that move the tentacle, and you and the others on the other side of the camera, and you see sometime the hand of this man that moved the monster is like to play un rischio. How you say rischio? Is una scommessa, like to play a roulette. You don't know what happens, and the fight in few words. The fight with monster, the emotion, everything that audience see are transmitted by the actor performance, and it's not easy to do this performance because you don't have a person that transmits to you something. The object when all the episode finish and there are good cutting, the audience feel like real the monster, but the actor no.
Stacey, I've been looking her up on Wikipedia today. I think she didn't carry on acting for, I'm not quite sure, but I haven't seen her for 20, 30 years really. And we were quite pals, and our paths had crossed before that, I think. So we sort of vaguely knew each other before we did the programme. Yeah, no, so I'm sort of slightly, might see if I can find out where she is. She might be down the road. I've just moved to Sussex. She might be down the road. Who knows? I've always supposed, I mean, I think quite a lot of people got dubbed. Sometimes it's a timing thing because you're not available to do the overdub if you need to do that. Although they did do sound as well. But I'd just seen David Bowie in The Man Who Fell to Earth, and I was rather infatuated by his persona, in particular that character. And he was a sort of South London boy, and I came from very close to him. He used to walk past my house when I was a kid to go and play his trombone at the local hotel, his saxophone. And so I thought it might be quite cool to be a kind of a strange sort of a slightly London alien. I didn't overdo it, but I remember doing it with a little bit of a kind of lazy South London. Clearly didn't work for the producers, so I was dubbed.
I memorize my lines. My English is better because the words are not mine, but of the author.
Well, especially as you're still in public view afterwards, and people again get to learn your voice. So lots of people said it wasn't your voice, was it? But I could have lied and said, but I'm a very good actor. I just put that kind of transatlantic drawn on,
I remember Martin Landau that was very nice with me because sometimes before the chuck I was a little bit emotional or preoccupied. I don't know what then they were preoccupied, and he was, no, Johnny, keep calm, be calm, quiet. You are okay. Take your time. Keep your time. There are no problem. For me, you are okay. So he encourages. She was a very good colleague of the work. After I followed him in his films, and also when he win the Oscar in the film of Woody Allen, and I remember other just an hour ago, and I called with my phone with my wife and say, do you know, I would like to do some holidays in England because I feel I always admired in English cinema, theater, English actors, Laurence Olivier, Alec Guinness, many others. Shakespeare is the for an actor. Shakespeare is like Dante Alighieri for a poet, or for the people that love poems, and so to stay in England now, I feel that I would come back here in the future for holiday and so on. And my wife told me, why don't you try 15 days of school for actors just to improve your poor English?
Again, that took a bit of work. I mean, I know it was in 3 or 4 stages and filmed on one day, so you had to obviously go back to makeup, and especially the last one, which was lots of latex and lots of good acting under the latex. As I crumbled away. I think that's the best bit of it, really. That's the bit I remember, really. I'm going to go home and watch it with my eldest daughter, who's a sci-fi fan and has no idea about it. So,
it was a kind of surprise for me to meet the people, these people of the fans, that after 50 years, they remember a work, a performance that I have done in Space 1999. the fans are so nice, so affectuous. How do you say in English? Affettuosi. Affectuous, yes. And I didn't believe it, that my performance was so appreciated. Also, this was is a surprise, a very nice and very good surprise for me. You know, an actor is always a little bit, or maybe in a strong way, a narcissist, and so I enjoyed that so many people admire my job, my performance. This is one, and then for me it's a kind of go back in the past of my life when I was more young.
There was a morality to it, which I've kind of forgotten, but I know these guys were sent out, me and her were sent out because we'd done bad things from wherever we came from. And they obviously had a no-kill policy, unlike me. It's gone again. And so we were sent into these space pods as our punishment, you know, only to be our evil to be unleashed much later on.
The men are so admired and loved, liked in Italy, that a writer has written a story of Tony Cellini before his flight to the moon base, that is in Africa safari, with maybe with the Captain Koenig also, and a woman. And he meets a kind of African or very old man that give him un dono, a gift, the asha, how we say, axe. And he said, this axe killed 30 lions. Killed one, a terrible lions that killed 30 person. So it's a very strong instrument. And he gives to Tony Cellini. And when Tony Cellini was killed by the monster, from very long distance, this old man, he perceived, he feel that Tony Cellini are dying, and he make a kind of magician action that the spirit of Tony Cellini survive, and also his body in another dimension. It's very well written, because this the name is Mike Tetro, Michele Tetro. He has written a lot of, he's a critics of the cinema. Right. He has written books about story of the Far West and of the science fiction, and of Schwarzenegger, Conan, a lot of very interesting books, studies. Mm-hmm.
I think with all fans, there is a kind of, well, these, there's a cultish feel to it, but there's an infatuation, and obviously in big films like Star Wars, and you go to these, or you see on television, they make films about these conventions where, there's one, isn't there, where the real aliens turn up and keep getting mistaken. I can't remember what one that was, but I've had great dinner with people last night. All got really, really kind of good. I'm not saying I think people think they're stupid. And that's clearly not the case, because I think Nick said the other day, Space 99 wasn't science fiction; it was science faction. And I think that's quite a good analogy for it, because it did start to play with the science that was around then. And of course now, in 50 years, the quantum stuff, we've delved so deep into trying to understand the solar system, and all the time there's new discoveries, new and more problems that come out every time you open one door. There's 50 other things, the stuff of black holes, with always the theory of relativity. And there's a new series on Apple TV called Constellation, which is really about set in the International Space Station. But that really is about time getting warped and doppelgangers, but all based on proper kind of science, So it's got harder to put your finger on what is and what isn't. I feel silly holding this guy. Guy just gave it to me. I said, "Can I buy one?" He says, "No." I said, "Oh, it's so good, isn't it?" He said, "I'll give it to you." Isn't that a guy called Chris?
Well, didn't you have a lovely time?
We did. The day we went to Heathrow. Yes.
It was great fun. I got to sit in the Space 1999 Eagle cockpit.
Yes. With Chris Thompson.
Yeah, great fun. And thank you for taking the time to do those interviews. Well, now, will they be appearing elsewhere apart from in the podcast at all? Or?
I think you can rest assured they will turn up somewhere else in some form or other. And they were not the only interviews we shot that day.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Nice. Excellent. Talking of keeping our eyes peeled, I think we should keep our ears peeled. No, that doesn't really work, does it? For the Voice of the Podsterons, because here they come now.
Oh!
This is the Voice of the Podsterons.
Hi to the whole team at Anderson Entertainment.
Oh,
wow.
That includes Ross.
I wonder how many of us there are now. I mean, I remember the day it was just me, you and Jamie.
Yeah. Yeah.
The announcements on the Gerry Anderson Day live stream were just music to my ears, as I'm sure to many Anderson fans. This is from Philip. Philip says, where do I start? The extra information on the Thunderbirds Blu-rays coming soon with fixes that are going to be made to some shots. I've got the Super Space Theatre collection on pre-order as I wore out my video Countdown to Disaster when I was young. So many happy memories, and I love collecting Steelbook Blu-rays, so I can't wait for that as well. Wow, I'm really glad.
Cover up for the Blu-ray Steelbooks the other day.
Really? Nice. Before I go any further, Chris, I'm going to ask you to explain the difference. What is a Steelbook?
Well, it's like a DVD case,
right?
Which opens outwards like a book, and the outer is made of steel.
I see. So nothing different about the disc itself.
This will be 4K.
I see. Right. Thanks for that. Now, I'm really glad that Thunderbirds is getting the same treatment as Stingray had last year, with its new collection of stories, along with the comic anthologies and technical manual to add to the other releases. 5 All XL5 Anthology is still my favourite release to date, says Philip.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, very hard to get now.
Right.
But you can now get it on ebook from the Gerry Anderson store.
Perfect.
Yes.
Good. And then the models. Fab is all I can say. I'm going to be honest, might have to skip some of these as I do not have space after the Thunderbird 2 and UFO models. They take up a large area in my display. But when you revealed the smaller range of the models, I was almost jumping for joy. And with the Corgi range as well, it's fantastic with a wide range of sizes for customers.
Yes.
It's true, isn't it?
We've never had so many Thunderbird 4s.
Yeah, that's
ever.
Right. Yeah. Finally, he says, getting highly detailed versions of Thunderbird 4 and 5. I am very happy. After all that, I just wanted to ask, the artwork that is on the new Blu-ray releases like Space Precinct and Thunderbirds is just so beautiful, but would it be possible to have these as posters, t-shirts, mugs, or anything else? Thank you, Philip.
Well, it is very nice.
Yes, I agree.
See here, it looks nice.
I'd love that on my wall.
Would you?
Yeah. Or on a t-shirt, I agree. Yeah, let's do it. Right, come on.
Okay, wow.
Ross is going to make it happen.
It's great to have that.
I will ask Jamie myself.
Okay, can we have that artwork on mugs, t-shirts, duvet covers, pillowcases?
Underpants.
Yeah.
Yeah, tea towels.
Great. Well, good luck. One there for you, Chris.
Hello, Jamie, Richard, Chris, Ross.
No way.
Others.
Okay, great.
So that's Charlotte.
Yes.
Virgil and others,
lovely.
yes. Here I am again from the Netherlands. In my previous email, I admitted that I'm listening to the podcast while training for the marathon in Rotterdam.
I remember.
And I now started training for next year's edition.
Gosh.
It doesn't stop.
No.
Gosh.
On Gerry Anderson Day, I completed a virtual race organised by ACE Races UK. It's a thing where you run a certain distance, send proof that you actually did it, and they'll send you a gorgeous Thunderbirds medal and pin to celebrate the 60th anniversary.
I wonder what the proof would be. I wonder how high their burden of proof is. Is it just a picture of you looking exhausted?
I know several Podsterons have done it.
Yeah.
Maybe they can tell us.
Indeed.
It is still running at the time of recording,
I
so we
see.
could still sign up for it.
Yeah, maybe.
But we won't. The Gerry Anderson Day live stream was a blast with so many announcements. It's time to start saving money and space for all these amazing goodies.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Upon closer inspection on the not final cover of the Thunderbirds Blu-ray, I noticed poor old Thunderbird 5 is missing.
Oh.
Or perhaps it's on the back. Perhaps.
Could be.
You are right.
Ah.
As far as I know. I think
It's not
that's
there.
I think that's the plan.
What? It's on the back?
Thunderbird 5 is on the back.
I see.
I think.
Okay, good. We'll wait and see.
No. I was watching the live stream while cleaning diapers and bottle feeding our newborn son.
Oh.
On the 1st of February, we become fathers of our own son, Etienne. That's a lovely name. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Wonderful news.
Did you know that there aren't any baby Thunderbirds clothing?
It's a crime.
What's going on?
Yes. I know.
As they say.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
missed opportunity
Absolutely,
there.
yes.
Around the time I'm typing this, he's 11 weeks old, and I wonder, how would you guys introduce babies or kids from today to the worlds of Super Mario Nation?
Oh, I think it's got to be the Joe 90 episode we watched last week.
I
isn't
think
it?
so, yeah.
Oh,
Blood
the-
and guts
the
everywhere,
supercar.
yeah.
Yeah, people be shocked to death.
Harden them to...
Super.
Oh.
No.
Interesting.
Considering all the lovely violent explosions and colourful crashes, cigarettes and drinking. Yeah, if you were to take out all episodes that have all of that, or any of that stuff.
That's Lavender Castle left, isn't it?
Well, for
basically?
Super Mario Nation, no, it's basically just the Secret Service you're left with, isn't it? Put your child in front of the Secret Service, yeah. It'll be fine. Wishing everybody a great week. Bedankt en tot ziens.
Is that a bit of Dutch there you're speaking?
I suppose so. I hope I got that
That's very
right.
good, yeah.
Florian Franken from the Netherlands.
Ah, thanks, Florian Franken from the Netherlands. A lovely
Bedankt
message.
en
Yeah.
tot ziens.
Good
Nicely
of it.
done.
Yeah. Ross.
Hello, Jamie, Richard, Chris, and all my fellow Podsterons.
Hello.
I loved seeing all the reveals of the upcoming products on the Gerry Anderson Day live stream. Lots of cool stuff I would love to purchase there, especially that really cool die-cast Thunderbird 4 model.
yes.
I quite agree. Another thing I'm looking forward to are the 4K Blu-ray steelbooks for the selected Thunderbirds and Space 1999 episodes, which begs me to ask, will these releases also include a standard Blu-ray disc for those who don't have a 4K player, like all 4K Blu-ray releases do?
Oh, do they?
FAB, SIG, PWOR, SPA. Jonathan Westall.
Ah, thanks, Jonathan.
Well,
Chris.
I have been on calls about the Blu-ray and 4K sets.
Yeah.
And I remember that this came up.
Yeah.
And a decision was made,
Yes.
and I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry. So it might be, or it might not.
Oh, well, that's...
But there is
okay.
still time, potentially, to
Yeah.
make that happen if it's not happening.
Right.
So apply pressure.
Yes.
Turn up the heat for
Yes.
Jamie.
Okay. All right.
yeah.
All right. Thanks,
can't
Jonathan.
remember
That's
what
the
the
best we can
outcome
do, I'm
was,
afraid.
so,
Yeah. God, you
My
don't pay any
terrible
attention at
memory.
all.
I know, no. I just do what I'm told.
Well, I hope you pay attention now as I pass you the big red button in time for you to press it.
You know, I'm
Episode of
thinking-
Randomiser.
There's 4 of us around this table. I reckon that it's way past time. Virgil, if we can manage this, gets to press the button. And let's hope we made the right choice.
Very well puppeteered.
Thanks, Virgil. Well, that was a first, wasn't it?
Yes.
Gosh.
Let's hope you made a good
Well, I'm hoping
choice.
for an episode of Thunderbirds following
Well,
that.
we're whizzing right through. Got
too late
past the
Thunderbirds.
colour, past the
Yeah.
puppets, past the live action. We're
Hang
into the
on.
80s.
We're going way into the 90s.
Oh! That is your son.
Ross, you were asking for something from
Bit
a
more
little
up to
later
date.
on.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
got an episode of New Captain Scarlet.
This is in my wheelhouse.
Is it?
Yes.
Chris, could you please bring us up to speed on every detail concerning New Captain Scarlet in 3.8 seconds?
It's like Captain Scarlet, but new.
Perfect. Specs on.
Oh, there we go.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah?
Is at war with an alien civilization.
Well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you've got a good one today.
Oh, fantastic.
It's a very good one. Yes.
I don't think I've ever been disappointed by New Captain Scarlet.
No.
Of their war against us.
Very few episodes that I would say are below par.
Sure, yeah.
It's much like Space Precinct. It sort of... It's on an upward curve
Yes.
of quality. It takes
Which is-
a little time to find
But that's
itself.
what you'd expect, perhaps, and what you'd
Yeah.
certainly hope for.
Absolutely.
Virtually indestructible.
So, how far are we into the run with this episode, Chris?
This is, I think, 2 or 3 from the end.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
With a lovely title as well.
Storm at the end of the world. Very nice.
And a similar setting to last week with Joe 90.
That's right,
I think
yes.
this is Alaska, isn't it? Into the diner.
There's a name we recognise, Mark Woodard.
Yes.
Come on, Doc. You take any more time over that coffee and it's gonna freeze over. I gotta be up again in 4 hours to start on the breakfast.
Sorry, Katie. You're right.
It's going to be a breakfast rush for all the 4 people in this town.
Yeah, that's right. I guess too complicated to provide sort of background characters, too time-consuming.
Well, at this time of night, no one else is
Sure
around.
thing.
Yeah, or early morning.
Yeah.
Is that an earthquake?
No, it's someone driving a great big monster of a tank through our
Hooray!
town. Yay!
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's quite a high death toll already, I would say.
Yes. And getting higher by the second.
And who's he?
And incredibly, this episode, when it was shown on CITV Saturday morning, this went out uncut.
Right.
I think by this point, they just did not care.
Yeah.
ITV were not paying attention to what's in this episode because it is brutal right from the get-go.
It's not hanging about, is it?
No. And it's a lovely model. Oh, there's something we didn't blow up.
Gosh, I don't remember it being quite this violent, but it clearly
Even the
is.
sign.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Body here,
No
body
messing
there.
around.
So we could potentially have a whole town of Mistron agents, could we?
Yes.
Like it.
No kitchen fixing subplot. Just straight in.
And then just ordinary people from all walks of life.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good.
And even, on the right, there's a little kid. A little kid Mistron. There we go.
Gosh.
I like that.
That's one of my favourite shots from the whole
That's
series.
really good.
What an opener.
Not a sign. And a Druzhnik's not an easy thing to hide, even in Alaska.
It can't have gotten much further. According to the Russians, the Mysterons must have taken it sometime during the Russo-American War Games in Siberia yesterday.
Best guess,
okay.
it took out the Bering Strait Bridge border crossing at around 2200 hours.
And maybe it can demolish a mountain, but it's not that fast. Which has to put it...
About there.
Yeah, there we go.
No sign of life.
I love that Scarlet was on spotting duty and he didn't spot
No.
it, and it's Blue at the controls
Yes.
who has to spot it. But again, by this point, they've really nailed a lot of these environments.
Mm-hmm.
I sure hope they don't put this thing into gear right now.
And the scale and the weight of some of the vehicles in this is really impressive.
Yeah.
I also like the world building in that this isn't the first time we see this tank. You know,
No.
we've seen it in.
Yeah. The Mysterons were always stealing this tank
Yes.
and some planes from the Russians as well. And again, I think it's just they had the model from the first episode. They keep reusing it, but it's a cool design.
Yeah.
It is.
A place called Ragnarok. Maybe we should take a look there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Doesn't sound ominous.
It's just some mining town.
Yeah, there's no reason not to go and have a look, though, is it?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going. I don't like the sound of it. I'm not going.
I hear they've got a really good coffee bar. And as someone was saying a few weeks ago, they can't believe that Space Precinct was 30 years ago. I really can't believe this was 20 years ago.
Yes,
This
that's
feels
right.
like it was yesterday,
Yeah.
the
Right.
original screening.
Yeah.
Mysterons have taken over the bakery. the
I would have
market.
been 9 years old when this came out. And I remember coming home from school and watching it.
Right.
It was my first broadcast experience of an Anderson show.
Oh, so you weren't watching it go out on Saturday mornings on Ministry
No,
of...
I seem to think it was repeated at some point.
It was, yeah.
Like 4 o'clock on
Yeah.
on a weekday.
Yeah, not too long after.
Right.
Coffee on before they skip town.
Yay.
Huh.
It smells good.
Don't mind me, ma'am.
Yes. Hello?
Sorry, ma'am. We called out, but...
Don't worry. From the look of those uniforms, you're not about to rob me, are you? Go on, help yourself.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very trusting.
Yeah.
It's good.
Katie's coffee. Hottest thing this side of Anchorage. Say, you guys hungry? I got some real good moose casserole I can work with.
Moose casserole?
Moose casserole. Ooh.
I'll just stick with the coffee, thanks.
Yeah.
You didn't just drop in for the coffee, I bet.
But a Mr. on Moose, that would have been something we could have
Yes.
found. Yeah.
We're looking for a Russian military vehicle that came over the Bering Strait Bridge.
The Russians? I thought we were all friends now.
Oh, we are. Did you notice anything?
No, nothing.
We'd like to ask around, but the town seems deserted.
Everyone's at the mine,
Everyone.
Everyone.
except me.
How's that?
Hang on. Shouldn't have drunk the coffee.
Wait for you.
Who told you?
The Misterons, of course. They said you'd come looking, so I put coffee on.
I love that.
Yeah. That's Phil Ford, the writer.
Yes.
Great dialogue.
Yeah, he wrote most of these.
Yeah.
My head. That's it. I'm switching to decaf. Здравствуйте.
I don't think he's very conversational.
Not like Katie. Most hospitable replicant I ever met.
I think he wants us to get up.
Yes. I'm going to try and escape. Oh, no.
Cool.
You can't escape alive. Not even you, Captain Scarlet. Drop the gun.
It's a really big gun.
This mobster version of Colonel Wise,
Yeah.
that seems like.
Everyone in town is helping with the mining.
And where are they? Oh, well, yeah, there they are. A few people.
There's the little kid, Mr. On,
Yeah, put to work with the others.
who does look a bit like Joe.
Yeah.
Mr. Rance.
We were all needed. So were you.
Us?
To dig.
For what?
If I told you that, you might not work.
If I told you that, the story would be over.
Yeah. Yeah, that character with the laser and some of the others, I think, are repurposed from other episodes.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Meanwhile.
No word from Scarlet or Blue. I don't like this one bit, Lieutenant.
The weather over Alaska is still pretty intense, Colonel. It is possible it's interfering with communications.
It's also possible that they're in trouble. And until this storm breaks up, we're powerless to do anything about it.
Weather Systems forecast indicates an improvement in approximately 2.5 hours.
Have an Albatross ready for launch the minute it's clear.
Well, that's us written out of the story for now.
Yeah, we'll just sit up here for a while.
I think that's them for the whole story, in fact.
Right.
Wow.
Don't see that again. But this is cool.
What do you think they're after?
Beats me. We're half a mile underground. Shouldn't be anything down here but rocks and coal.
Ever see that old movie? They dig out a spaceship that's been buried under London since before the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Look at the Misterons that got kin down here.
What?
Casual Quatermass in the Pit reference for the kids watching in 2005. Yeah.
To occupy his Misteron mind?
Sure. Just say the word.
It's said.
Oh, not again. It's always that guy.
Fire, Scarlet! Fire!
You might be virtually indestructible, Scarlet, but your friend here is hopeless.
Keeps happening.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes.
That is a running theme for this one.
Doc, here.
Duck? He's found a duck.
You should have fired.
I know.
I guess they found what they were looking for.
Not a spaceship, Adam. A meteor.
A meteor.
You know, our town was founded by Norwegians. They thought it was the worst place on Earth, so they called it Ragnarok as a joke. The end of the world. But perhaps it wasn't a joke. Perhaps it was a prophecy.
What's in that thing?
Spores, Captain. Spores that have traveled the galaxies and killed all life they encountered. They landed here millennia before man trod the Earth. Frozen in the ground, they never found the warm-blooded carriers they needed to infect the planet. Until now.
Yay.
But how could you have known about it? It's impossible.
The Mysterons watched your planet even then. In those days, they were curious. Now they're only curious to see how quickly you die.
So the townspeople turn carriers. You fly them out of here
and then to every major city of the world. The disease is highly contagious.
Gosh, another episode about bioweapons.
Yes. Interesting, isn't it?
4 weeks.
Snow as well.
Yeah.
They're all sort of linked in funny ways.
You died.
Cut to a CGI Robert Vaughn sat there going, oh, I don't know if we can help with this.
Yeah.
I really like the world building of how, just from his kind of monologue, you learn a little bit more about the Mysterons. In fact, they've been around for millennia.
Yes, just watching and waiting, yes. It's
and the
very
subtle
effective.
implication that there are other alien life that this stuff has encountered before and killed.
And the Mysterons know about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
I don't think this would have worked at the beginning of the series. I think it really needs... It's really good they did it when they did, because you can build a whole town populated by all these people.
Yeah.
At the beginning, they wouldn't have had the resources.
Right.
Oh, that's it. Breathe deeply of the lovely spores.
It's also striking a bit of a chord. There was a Space Precinct two-parter which featured a meteor carrying dangerous spores, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
Of course. Death Watch.
Yeah,
Death Watch.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
We're not gonna make it.
Yes, we are.
Okay, then.
Take the word for it. Yeah, hey! Mine ride.
Oh, this does feel like a level from a video game.
Yes.
No timer, no bag.
There you go. This would be in a Gerry Anderson theme park, I think.
Yeah, right. This also reminds me of, I think it's The World Is Not Enough. There's a similar sequence where Pierce Brosnan and I think it's Denise Richards are escaping from the mine before it all blows up.
Right.
Blow it. It's on the cable.
Yeah, there's a... Is it Temple of Doom, I think, as well? One of the Indiana Jones movies has a similar sequence.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
The Hummingbird. We have to get to the Hummingbird and blow this town off the face of the planet.
Right, great.
Nice and simple.
Yeah.
Always assuming they can get to it before the people fly out.
It's dead. Oh no. Off we go. So they're being injected with the spores from the meteor, isn't it? What's going on there?
Oh no!
Oh dear.
And I love how increasingly bleak this gets from this point on. Every time they think they're safe, something else goes wrong.
Yeah.
And also that it's night now as well.
Yeah.
It adds so much atmosphere.
And a relentless enemy.
And something else that slipped past the CITV sensors. Oh, yeah. You feel it, don't you?
Yes.
I think that's the only neck break in an Anderson show. I hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
What now?
The Druzhnik. It's our only chance. As soon as this storm lets up, they're gonna fly out of here in that cargo plane.
So let's go.
Oh, no.
Oh. Adam, I think you nicked me.
Come on, you can make it.
No. You've got to leave me.
In this cold, you're gonna die.
Paul, this time, listen to me. If you don't, everyone is gonna die. And you're gonna have to watch them. Stop that plane.
SIG.
He's not going to die, is he?
Wow, it doesn't look good.
I think this is the kind of characterization that makes this series work.
Yes, yeah. And the performances are both really good.
Oh, it's stopping.
Uh-oh. Yeah, the sky's clearing.
Lovely transition.
Tell them it's time to go.
I love the idea that the Mysterons are just in there chugging on coffee. Getting coffee down
Biding
their
their time.
heads, yes.
Yeah, super creepy if you think about it.
Yeah. And it's a rare new Captain Scarlet episode that doesn't have Captain Black in it. And that would be an ideal point for him to sort of turn up and
Sure,
you
yeah.
thought you could get away.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need him
No,
when
true.
the threat is so extreme.
They've taken off.
Uh-oh. Is it too late?
This one's for you, Adam.
Yay!
Direct hits.
I think that's too easy, I think.
Yeah.
Too easy a solution.
Now.
I don't know what else they could do,
No.
really, but it's like the question of whether the virus would still survive
Exactly.
is there, but
Which you've now sort of dispersed all over the crash site.
yes. Oh, not Kate's diner. Wow. My work is done here.
Just a normal day for Captain
Yeah.
Scarlet.
Okay.
You got it.
Not looking good.
Really isn't, is it?
Thanks for the fire. I thought I'd try to see if I could get warm.
Just hold on.
Maybe this indestructibility thing is rubbing off.
I wish it could. I'd give anything.
Don't worry. It's not so bad. Better to die for a reason than live your life without one.
Deep.
Gosh,
You can fight it.
nice philosophy for
Yeah.
kids to show on a Saturday
Yeah.
morning.
Not enough time. Just do one thing
A
for
lot of blood for a kid's show as well.
What?
Don't let them win.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I was going to let them win, so it's just when you said that.
Yeah. Oh,
Thanks.
I have to change my plans now.
Is he actually dead, though?
Well, it certainly looks like it. And it's certainly being set up.
They're here.
And then they turn up.
Okay.
Just in time.
Okay.
Implied, kind of. But
Yes.
I don't know.
As soon as the storm dropped. We kind of knew where to look.
Okay, that's kind of like having your cake and eating it, though, isn't
Yes.
it? Which I don't mind.
Yeah.
What happened here? It looks like the end of the world.
I guess for a while.
I think there are stories in some wars where someone would be shot and then it would be so cold overnight that the cold would actually freeze your wound and you'd survive.
Oh, Oh,
So by crawling to the fire, he...
So, yeah.
Oh, that was a bad move.
Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
interesting. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what to think about it. I did enjoy it because I love New Captain Scarlet. I love what they achieved in terms of the design and the characters, the voice acting, and so on. But I found the denouement rather uninspiring. Just to shoot something out the sky, I think, was a little too simple for
Yes. I do think that the ending is a bit too simple. I don't know what you can really do in a 23-minute
I don't know,
format.
infiltrated them somehow, or I don't know, maybe playing down from within, or I don't know.
Chucked a grenade or
I think
something.
the longer format, if it had been a slightly longer format, you could have had Captain Black for Scarlet to fight, and they could be jostling over the controls while they're trying to get the shot off.
That's certainly worthy of being a two-parter. I think there's enough going on there. But purely on the atmosphere, the environment, the setup, and the fact that they were so brave at the end to do what they very nearly did, and I wish that they had done it, because you're only 2 or 3 episodes from the end there. Blue doesn't really do much in those 2 or 3 episodes. It would have been perfect, and it would have made it so much more personal.
Yes.
If Scarlet's best friend had died.
If only they then dealt with it in those last 2 episodes.
Yes.
That's the thing. They may not have done, because I suppose they had one eye on the idea that these things may not have been shown in any particular order.
Which they weren't.
There you go.
The subsequent episodes were shown
Tricky,
out of
isn't
order.
it?
So, yeah.
But a lovely idea of a whole mysterized town. That's really
so
spooky.
sinister, that shot at the beginning.
I'd like to see 1 or 2 pets in the lineup, though, I think.
Oh, yes. The
Don't
show
know if they
did
do.
miss
Wasn't there a lost episode where it was supposed to be sort of a doll's house or toys that were Mr. on Ice?
Mr. on Taking over dolls.
An absolute horror story.
Which got dropped.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to go quite high on that, but not as high, I don't think, strangely, as Joe 90 that we saw just last week.
Wow.
That was last week, wasn't it?
It was last week, yes.
So I think I went 4.5 for that.
You did.
I'm going to go for 4 for this New Captain Scarlet episode.
Last week you went 4.5 and I went 4. This week I'm going to go 4.5 because I love that one, and I think there's only a couple of episodes that I would rank above it.
What's stopping it being a 5 then?
I think it's only having Scarlet and Blue in it.
Yeah.
I like seeing the whole gang.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
because they're rather sidelined, aren't they? Because of the storm. That whole...
But again, it's the title "End of the World," and it does feel like this is the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
What you having all your friends around you, it kind of you'd feel cozy. Whereas just 2 of you against a whole town.
Yes,
it's kind of a nightmare scenario. So
Ross.
It's a tricky one because generally I like New Captain Scarlet a lot, so my average sort of goes up. But relative to the show, I think I'm going to go for a 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good. Okay. All right. I think that's 12.5 out of 15.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? Similar to last week. Not bad. I think that's pretty spot on, isn't it? I'm sure Podsterons, you at home, might well rate that episode, Storm at the End of the World, higher than that. There might be a few of you that rank it lower.
And what's wrong with you if you do?
Yeah. Well, let us know what's wrong with you in the comments beneath this video, because we'd love to hear what you think of that episode of New Captain Scarlet. Yes. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll be back for more fun and games next time on the Gerry Anderson podcast.
Fun and games indeed.
So we will see you then. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get started. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
Well, it's been very nice to be guesting in for another few episodes. I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm also glad that it all continued to work smoothly without your input, Ross, from a technical point of view, which brings me to wonder, what is it you do when we're doing a podcast?
Slightly worrying, isn't it?
If it's just all running kind of automatically without him.
I mean, somebody has to set the lights up and set it all up and take it all down.
And check his phone and fall asleep. That was an Anderson Entertainment production.